Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my ZED Talk. Get it? ZED Talk? TED Talk? I think you got it. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the 4.7 developer notes that we just got. There's quite a few juicy things in there that I just want to talk about. Now, I don't normally do this kind of video where I just sit in front of the camera and just talk about what's going on in Genshin, but I'm trying something a little bit different. This may be something that I would like to do more of, so if you want to see me just sit here and chat with you guys more, let me know down below in the comments. All right, so the 4.7 developer notes dropped. Let's get into it. I think the biggest change that we are all the most excited for is the Resin Cap Increase. Now, the Resin Cap Increase is increasing from what I believe is 160, which is the current Resin Cap, to 200, which is actually a monumental change. And I think it's a bigger change than most people realize. For me, I am actually really excited about this change. Now, it's important to note that the resin rate is not increasing. You're not getting more resin per day. It's literally just the cap. And despite that, I still think it's actually an amazing change. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, for me, I log into Genshin once per day. I only play Genshin generally at the same time every day. For me, it's midnight. I like to spend from about midnight to 2 a.m. just playing Genshin. It's my downtime. My boyfriend's asleep. I just get on the game. I do all of my dailies, do my commissions, farm for weapon mat crystals, spend my resin doing usually artifact domains. This is my time that I just I'm checked into Genshin. It's the 2 hours of serenity I have a day. I'm just going to play Genshin. And I always do that at the same time every day. It's always midnight to 2 a.m. So we're going to do a little bit of math here. This is kind of the boring part where we do a little bit of math. But right now, we get 8 resin per minute. So when you have a cap of 160, in order to go from 0 resin to 160 resin, it takes 1,280 minutes to reach the resin cap. Now, what this means, that translates to 21.33 hours. Now, you'll notice that's less than 24 hours. So what this means is if you only log in once per day at the same time every day, you miss out on 2.67 hours worth of resin. Now, at 8 minutes per resin, that comes to about little over 20 resin total. Now, 20 resin is an artifact, so you're missing out on 1, maybe 2 artifacts if it's a lucky day for you per day. Now, that may not seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it is. I mean, over the course of a year, you're losing out on a minimum of 365 artifacts per year. If someone came up to you and was like, hey, do you want 365 artifacts for your favorite character to look through to see if you can get an upgrade? You bet your ass you would be all over that. I mean, that's huge. If you want to put it in another way, it's 7,800 resin per year that you're missing out on if you just log in once per day at the same time every day, which equates to about 130 fragile resin. Again, imagine if someone just said, hey, you want 130 fragile resin to spend on your favorite character, farming artifacts or building a new character or whatever it is, you would foam at the mouth for that. I know I would. I would foam at the mouth for that. There's never enough resin. So this is important. With the cap increasing to 200 at the rate of 8 resin per minute, you actually take 1,600 minutes to cap on your resin instead, which equates to 26.67 hours. Notice that's over the 24-hour threshold. That's huge. So now you can feel safe logging in once per day at the same time per day and not wasting any resin. And this is huge. The only gripe I have with this is, why did it take so damn long? We should have had this from the beginning. I mean, I get why Hoyo kind of did it. They kind of want you to be on your toes. They want you to feel uncomfortable. That gets you to play more, spend more money. They want you to not be too comfortable in their game. So I kind of get it. It's a very deceptive tactic to get people to play more and spend more. But it's about time they finally get away from those manipulative tactics and just make it easier for the player to play their game. You know, it's that simple. It really is that simple. Now, while this change is great, I would like to see some other things changed. I think we would all really like to see a condensed resin cap increase. 5 is way too low. I hope the next change they bring involving resin is really changing the condensed resin cap increase. As a whale, this is kind of like unrelatable, I know, but it's really annoying when you're farming an artifact dungeon and you have to go from crafting table to the domain, use your 5 condensed resin, go back to the crafting table, craft 5 more, go back to the domain. I mean, it's just such a nuisance. Now, again, that's just a whale problem, but there's also the fact that different talent books and different weapon ascension materials drop on different days. And how convenient would it be if you could save up more condensed resin so that you could use the condensed resin on the days that you want to use? Like, for instance, some talent books only drop on Wednesday, some drop on Thursday, some drop on Friday. Imagine if you had more condensed resin so that you could hyper focus your resin on the days that you want to get the talent books or the weapon mats that you want. That's huge. So for me, I think 10 condensed resin minimum is where we should be at this point. 5 is just not enough. By the way, this is just an aside, but they should really get rid of the days of the week thing. That whole scheme is ridiculous at this point. Can we just have all talent books and all weapon ascension materials drop every day from the domains? Like, can we just get past that? I feel like that's just a stupid thing that needs to go away. But that's a conversation probably for another day. But please, Hoyo, it's stupid. Again, it's predatory. They're trying to get you to log in on specific days to farm for specific characters. That just needs to go. We're past that point. Again, let's get rid of the manipulative tactics. Let's just have all of them farmable every day. All right, moving on to the next change, we have another pretty decent change, which is minor, but I think it's pretty important. It's a few patches ago, we got the artifact configuration system where you basically select your character and you can auto configure what artifacts you want on that character. As it stands currently, you have to kind of select what type of artifacts you want. It's like, attack sands, pyro goblet, crit, circlet. You have to manually select those regardless of what character you're using. Now they're making it so that all of those things are pre-filled. So it's just going to autofill those and then you can change them from there, which I think is a really, really good change. I know a lot of people don't really use this auto configuration system for artifacts. They already have, their characters equipped with the artifacts that they like for them. And if they're going to change them, they generally want to change them manually to make sure they're optimally using the best things. Sometimes the auto configuration system can set you on the wrong path and not necessarily give you exactly what you want. But for me, I love the system. I think it's a really, really great system. Now, is it better than loadouts? No. We definitely all really, really, really want loadouts. A way to save our presets for artifact and weapon configurations on characters. We all really, really want that. So Hoyo, listen up. This is the thing that we all really want. Give it to us. We need this. It may be difficult to implement. I understand that. I'm willing to wait for it, but please we're slowly creeping towards that. Please give us loadouts. But as the system stands as it is, I really do enjoy it. I know in the past I've done kind of like whale challenges where I've done randomized abyss teams. I'll put I have a generator that generates random abyss teams and just gives me random heroes. And it's really nice to have the auto configuration system where I can just plop artifacts on heroes that I barely use. A lot of the 4-star DPSs that I don't use, things like that. I can just auto equip them with the best thing possible. And you're good to go. It's quick, it's easy, it's pretty efficient. The builds turn out pretty well. So I really, 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 really like that system. What they're doing here is a very, very minor change, though, with kind of the more manual parts of the system where you can pre-fill what you want on your artifacts, attack, sands, elemental goblet, crit goblet, elemental mastery, whatever you want. But I think it's a positive change. It's not major, but I think it's still a pretty decent change. I actually have a video planned where I'm going to use the auto configuration to see if it can beat some of my better built characters. because I have a lot of artifacts. Like I have a ton of artifacts. For some of my top 1% characters on the Akasha, I've farmed so many artifacts, and sometimes it's hard to tell without, you know, going on a website and using like an optimizer what the best build actually is, because there's so many configurations, there's so many different types of artifacts. So I have a video planned where I'm actually going to try to use the optimizer in game, the auto configuration, to see if it can beat my best builds, because I actually haven't tested that yet. So stay tuned for that. That is something I'm definitely tinkering in my mind. It's something I definitely want to try. All right, guys. Well, I think that's really all I have to say about these dev notes. Nothing really more beyond that. They made a couple of other minor changes. I think they're increasing the friend cap, the amount of friends you're allowed to have on your friend list from 50 to 100, which is great. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are excited for that. Me personally, I don't even have 50 friends in Genshin. Not because I can't make friends, I mean, but more because co-op is just kind of garbage in Genshin. That could be a whole nother video topic, honestly, but co-op is just lacking so hard in Genshin. I mean, why don't we not have bosses that we can fight as a group that are actually challenging? Like kind of a World of Warcraft, like, major boss that we can all fight together. I mean, you'd think that would be something that they would be really into doing, but we don't have that. Again, that's probably a whole nother video I could talk about, but the other thing they're changing is some of the item caps are increasing from, like, I think they're going from like 10,000 weapon crystals to 100,000 weapon crystals, I think, which I know is fairly useful. There are a lot of people who are capped on certain items and would like to have more of them, like heroes wits, weapon mat crystals, things like that. So it's a positive change. It's good. Is it revolutionary? No, but I mean, these changes are welcome, so not much more to say about that. A couple notes for the future. The 4.7 live stream is coming soon. I will be hosting a watch party when that goes live, so if you want more details on that, you can join the Discord. I have that linked in the description of this video. Love to have you in our community Discord. We will be doing a giveaway for that as well. We'll be giving away 10 Welcome Moons, as we do with every single live stream watch party that I do, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like this kind of video, let me know down below. I hope to see you in the next one.